What is going on, guys? MJ105 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P Bandai Metal Robot Damashi Gundam TR-6 Woundwort from Advance of Zeta, the Flag of Titans, a compilation of what came before in the TR series. Its call to fame is its modularity, allowing for option parts to be attached to adapt to many combat situations. The box itself continues on the dark theme and golden trim and text, shrouding just enough of the figure in shadow to give you a tease of what to expect, while the back displays all the features of the kit with Japanese description you'll need a translator for. Taking a look inside, you'll find yourself with two clamshells and the instructions. The first contains the Gundam and all of its accessories, while the second one contains the action base. And the instruction manual is pretty long but mostly devoted to explaining the transformation. Taking the figure out the package, surprisingly with no protective blanket, it is evident that it looks very good. The figure itself is a stunning representation of the standard TR-6 Woundwort, further enhanced by the matte white used, accented by the red and metallic yellow sections, as well as the metallic purple on that beautiful die-cast frame, as well as the sufficient yet infrequent use of the warning labels and intelligible Titans test team logos scattered throughout the body, adding extra detail here and there to enhance the overall visuals. As per usual for Metal Robot Damashi figures, there is no sign of bare plastic, yet the real highlight is that there are no nub marks or awful seam lines to be found on the surface, with arguably the raised detail on the legs raising some eyebrows depending on who you ask. Proportionally, it takes entirely from the famous line art with some slight adjustments that sharpen up the edges and allow for the eyes to be exposed sufficiently. Overall, it's a great looking representation of the Gundam TR-6 with a premium feeling to it courtesy of the paint job and decals, but keep in mind that it's a bit too large to display alongside your high-grade kits. Articulation begins with a ball and hinge neck joint that is decently flexible, benefited from the transformation gimmick. There's a shoulder swivel, rotating fins and shoulders, arms that raise up perpendicularly, swiveling biceps, single jointed elbows with another backwards bending joint, and hinged ball jointed wrists. The waist section offers some slight rotation, while the transformation joint provides front to back crunching. The phallic subarm can extend on a double joint and raise at the base for some great innuendos, as well as deploy the manipulator. The booster pod can adjust at the drum frame, as well as fold up and down and rotate at its base. Splits towards all directions are of no challenge despite the thick thighs, and there is a folding joint for the transformation. There is a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and deployable heels using provided stoppers to flip them out and keep them deployed while standing. Articulation is basically identical to the high-grade kits with a couple improvements here and there from the transformable frame. Otherwise, it's what you would expect from the Gundam TR-6. As for accessories, the figure comes with a pair of fists, holding hands, and open hands, all with a manicure from the factory. The only weapon of the TR-6 is the Composite Shield Booster. Besides the movable handle that is easy to wedge the holding hand onto, it also features a clip for the forearm and half a shield arm that plugs into the arm and shoulder for some very solid mounting. It does lock the articulation of the arm though, so keep that in mind. The figure also features normal and heated blade pieces with beautifully painted effects for you to choose from for your ideal display. Finally, the legs of the shield can flip out and fold at two joints for deployment, while the blade is set aside. The shoulder attachment is swapped out for one of the two attachment arms that feature a bend, and the arm and shield are joined with a wire connected to a set of adapters for the claw mode. It's way more lenient compared to the high grade, and it does work very well if there is more space beyond this display base to stretch the wire. Finally, the standard Metal Robot Damashi action base is included with printed text for the TR-6 as well as an extra support arm, which can prop the figure up with an extra attached adapter, and support the Composite Shield Booster, since it's way too heavy for the shoulders to do so by itself in most poses. The final trick up the figure's sleeve is the transformation. After removing the chest plate and phallic subarm, the rest of the process lies on the complex structure. Fold up the arms and wrists before spinning them and the head around. Expand the chest armor to unlock the folding gimmick for the head and canopy of the Primrose 2, before locking them again after rotating the canopy, and reattaching the chest plates with the bottom folded flush. Then, raise the chest assembly up, fold the leg assembly down, and spin it around. Fold the legs up, expand the hip joints before folding it back up, and flip out the side fins by removing and reattaching the side leg panels. Next, retract the fins on the booster pod, extend it, fold out the cover stored within, spin it upside down, and have it cover over the head and torso module. Finally, reattach the phallic subarm onto the bottom of the craft, and prop it up with an adapter. The process is absolutely confusing in the instructions when it could have been pretty straightforward, as much as you can call my description straightforward. Regardless, the final form looks pretty decent. It is a good representative of the compact pod the TR-6 transforms into, which results from a smooth transformation when you know what you're doing. The Composite Shield Booster can also be mounted onto the phallic subarm. By deploying the arm and bracing it with an adapter, you can deploy the handle of the shield, slide it into the manipulator, and pray to God that the shield arm is enough to keep it from sliding out. Then, equip an extension adapter onto the craft before plopping it back onto the display base. Honestly, I heavily dislike this gimmick. While it is cool that it exists, the execution is not good. The fact that the shield booster isn't really held on well at all is infuriating, which made it worse considering that it collides with the arm of the display base, increasing the chances of it being knocked off. It's a neat inclusion, but just not worth the trouble setting up. In the end, I'm feeling rather conflicted about the Metal Robot Gundam TR-6 Woundwort. Everything about the base figure is great, from the untainted looks to the transformation gimmick and some quality of life additions like the stoppers for the heels. But it's once the Composite Shield Booster is brought in when the experience will go down the drain, since its most solid connection locks the arm up and would otherwise be rather infuriating to handle besides sending it out in claw mode. Don't get me wrong, the figure itself is still a solid release so long as you're willing to put up with it, but unlike the TR1 Hazel Custom, you don't get alternate accessories to mess with, so for around the same price, you're stuck with a stunning looker that isn't necessarily the most fun figure to mess with. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.